All right, now that it's getting dark at like a little bit after 5, we need to get some headlights on this thing so I can go cruising around after dark. I picked up a couple of these LEDs for headlights and then one of these to use as a work light on the back. Granted, they do not look like Ford 8N headlights. Gotta remember, this is a go tractor, not a show tractor. I picked up a switch. I think I got all of this stuff at Tractor Supply. I got it like a year or so ago. I just never got around to putting it on. So this switch here has a connection where you'd hook your positive from your battery. It's all fused. So when the switch is all the way in, none of the contacts are active. So you pull it out to the first notch, and these two over here are tied together. They're active. And this back one is active. This one is not. Pull it all the way out. This side is still active. This one is not, and now this one is active. Now I'd like to have this set up. This is where when you pull it out one notch, your work light comes on. When you pull it out 2 notches, the headlights and the work light stays on. So what we'll need to do is hook the work light onto one of these two, since that will stay on in either position. We won't hook anything here, and we'll hook the headlights to this pole. Now we'll let the work lights come on, first position, headlights and work lights, second position. So that should work out good. Well, that hole right there is what years and years ago used to have a headlight switch. So we'll use that. We've got the ammeter connections right here. If you watch the video where I made it all 12 volts, you can know exactly how this is wired up. But this wire on this side of the ammeter is your battery wire. And this side goes out to the ignition switch, and this side goes out to the alternator. So you've got current coming in from this side, feeding back through the alternator, charging the battery. If you don't have the thing running, you've got battery current coming this way, going out to your switch. And from your switch, it goes on up to your coil. So all we'll need to do is run a wire from this post over to the headlight switch. And then we'll need to fasten up a ground somewhere. Since it's a rusty old tractor, I'll probably instead of grounding it right at the light, I'll probably bring it up here and ground somewhere here, because that's where the negative battery cable's hooked up to. Then we'll just run the wires to the lights. Before you start loosening stuff on the ammeter and possibly smacking a wrench into the frame, make sure to disconnect your negative battery cable. Then we're going to mount the light in the existing hole there. It's just got this little bracket. We'll mount that on the side. Since the hole's a little oversized, we'll use a fender washer, lock washer, or nut on the inside. Okay, the light's on there. We need some place to run the wire through the side. There's a little knockout panel right there. I think I'll drill through that. I tried knocking it out with a hammer and punch. It's in there good. So I'll just drill that out, run the wire through there, pivot the light like that. And keep in mind that if I ever go to, actual 8N Ford style headlights, I can weld that hole up, make it look like it was not even ever there. So, not a problem. Got both headlights mounted on there. I don't think they look too bad. I've extended the wiring on this one. Fastened some new on there. Got enough wire to run back to the switch, so I'll tape that up. We'll run it through the hole and probably run it up along the top there to keep it out of harm's way. Okay, we got all the wires from the headlights terminated. Hooked the positives onto the switch there so the headlights will come on and the switch is fully out. Right there was a hole in that framework. Like I said, the negative cable is hooked to that. So we're going to ground everything there. There was already a little hole there, just tapped it out to 832 thread. Put a screw in it. There's the 2 ground wires. Now, like I said, you can ground to the hood somewhere else as long as you're confident you're getting a electrical connection through everything. But rusty as this is, I'm not confident. That's why I just carried a ground wire with it. But that will have it for sure grounded to the battery. Should work. So now it's time to hook up the tail light, or the work light. And parts of the old lights mount are still there. I'm going to try to take the bolt out of the bottom that holds this head, or this light assembly here. We'll take it off and try to fasten the new one onto this L-shaped bracket there. Okay, we got the work light mounted on the back. Be able to pivot that up and down if I need it. The wiring is just temporary because I'm not sure how I want to run this wire. I've just got it down. I wrapped a little bit around the axle there, and up and over, zip tied there, across there, then run it up through where the ignition switch wire goes. Now I know the wire originally went on the other side over here because there was a couple of hangers there, and there is a hole there in the bulkhead that you can run the wire through. I think I would just as soon have it down the same side that the light's on, but I'll work that out later. Right now it's not in the way, and it'll function. So I've got the power wire for the work light hooked onto this side, so that'll be on anytime the switch is activated. Just went ahead and hooked its ground onto there. So all that's left is put the switch in and hook up the power wire. I think instead of hooking it to the ammeter, I will probably hook it just to this lead to the switch. Same deal. It'll be hot all the time. That way the light, you can turn the lights on whenever you want. They won't be affected by the switch, because this particular switch just has on, off, and start, so it doesn't have a position for like accessory. And I don't want, if I'm like running the lights sometime with the tractor off, I don't want to have the ignition hot. I think I will also wrap a couple of wraps of electrical tape around this, since the connectors are exposed and this is not indexed into the hole. It could rotate around and get into the side of the ammeter. So I'll just put a little electrical tape on that to protect that. All right, let's see if this works out like it should. I put the battery cable back on. No smoke came out. We'll pull on one notch out. Look at that. We got work light, no headlights. Pull it the rest of the way out. Headlights and the work light. And the way I've got it wired up, the ammeter works like it should. A little bit of draw for the one light, no draw, and then everything on. Now, just need to take it out tonight. Adjust the headlights, give it a look. Okay, who watched that last bit of video and thought, hey, that ain't gonna work, you're gonna trip over that? Yeah, raise your hand, you were right. I drove this down to the dump and managed to snag my foot on that wire twice. So I built this little tube to hold it. That was the only place. Apparently I dragged my foot coming through there. So that's still not a final solution, but that'll work for now. I think these new headlights are going to work just perfect. Hey, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.